Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful suburban style house. I'm not really sure what to say about this one. What you see is what you get, so why don't you check out a few different angles of this house, and without any further ado, why don't we actually head straight into the tutorial for a change. I think that is officially the shortest intro that I have ever recorded. So, if you want to make this thing, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some birchwood planks, some birchwood stairs, some block of quartz, some quartz stairs, some quartz slabs, some wooden trapdoors, some white stained glass pane, some glass block, and some birchwood fence. You'll also need some stone brick stairs, some stone brick slabs, some cobblestone slab, some stone slabs, some oak leaves, some sort of flour, some lime hardened clay, and some green hardened clay. All of those last materials, the second row of materials, are more for the outside of the build. So if you have different plans other than me for the outside of this build, then feel free to grab other things. The ones in my hotbar are the main ones. So once you grab each one of these, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, and I can tell you guys that this house will fit into a 26 block, that is 26 blocks coming across the front, by a 28 block area going towards the back, and that includes the garden out in front of the house and the back of the house. So it's actually a relatively medium-sized build. Well, once you have your plot of land figured out, and if you build this big rectangular shape that we have here on the ground, you want to start on the very front bottom right hand corner of your rectangle, and you want to move inwards by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to place yourself a quartz block. You then want to place a row of 18 quartz going left of that block. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You then want to move backwards from this 18th block by 14. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What we then want to do is we want to take this 14th block and we want to move it across the back of the house, and we actually want to connect it to the very first quartz block that we placed. So we want to have a shape which should look like this. A nice, simple, rectangular shape, like so. What we then want to do is we want to take each one of the 4 corners of our rectangle, and we actually want to raise up the corners by 4 each with the birchwood planks. So that will look like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we want to place a block of quartz on top of each one of those 4 blocks, and we want to connect the block of quartz around the build. So what we want to make is like this big 3D rectangular shape like this. So you guys can kind of see what we'll put in together. I'm sure that you'll be able to copy exactly what I've done here. Once it's actually been done, of course, we're almost there. So we want to have this. Now what we want to do, very similar to what we just did actually, we want to take each one of the 4 corners and we want to raise them up each by 4 with the birchwood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want to do the same thing all around once again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, once again, place block of quartz on top of each block and connect them together to once again form a big, giant, rectangular shape. And this is going to be the majority of the frame of the house. The next thing we'll be doing is we will be adding the framing for the roof. You guys will see that very, very shortly. You see, once we have 2 stories of our rectangular shape, kind of becoming more and more square-like, we actually want to come to the left-hand side of our rectangular shape. And we want to take this top front right-hand corner block on this side of the build, and you want to do 7 up left diagonals from this build, or from this block. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You then want to do bottom left diagonals until you connect downwards. Hopefully, in the exact same position on the back of the build, all being right. And as you can see, you should end up with a triangular shape. And if we move over to the opposite side here, we want to do the same thing. So we're going to take this corner block and we're going to do 7 upper right diagonals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll do bottom right diagonals until we once again recreate what we have on the opposite side, and all being well, we should connect to the equivalent point on this side of the build. So what you'll end up with should look like this, and that is a very good frame for the house. That is pretty much exactly what we're after. So the next part of this is we are going to add details to the house. We'll start with the front. So the front of my house is here, it's this side. However, at the moment, since both sides are parallel to each other, you could make either the front or the back the front, if that makes sense. So I'm on the front of the build, and I want to come all the way down to the bottom front left-hand corner. We want to start going right of this birchwood plank here, and we want to go to the right of this by 5 with the upside down birchwood stairs. So that'll look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to go to the right by 2 with the birchwood planks. 1, 2. We then want to place a glass block, leave a gap of 1, place a glass block, then place 2 birchwood planks going right. 1, 2. Then 5 upside down birchwood stairs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to end up with this pattern. What you can then do is take the birchwood planks and extend them upwards until they hit the midpoint of the house, the block of quartz like this. And then we want to place on top of the glass block, we want to place an additional glass block, place quartz stairs on top of that, and connect the stairs together in the middle. Place a row of birchwood planks above the stairs to give you this shape. We then want to place, on the upper part of the window, underneath the quartz block, we want to place regular facing birchwood stairs, so they are opposite to the stairs that you have just below, like this. Connect the left-hand side of the windows and the right-hand side of the windows down together, like this. That's the left one, and this is the right one. You then want to fill the center of the windows in using glass pane, and you want to place shutters on the windows. You want to place it in front of the block of quartz, so you'll end up with this. Place quartz slab on the upper part of the lower set of stairs and on the lower part of the upper set of stairs to give you this effect. You get a very, very cool depthy version of a window if you do it like this. And if we come to the left hand side and we can place glass inside of the window, and then we can once again place the wooden trapdoor shutters like this. That's going to go the wrong... Oh, it went the right way. And then we can place our quartz slab in front, and we will end up with this sort of effect once again. It's a very cool window. It's the first time I've actually made windows quite like this. So that's what you want to have. Now, once you've done that, once you've done this on the lower part of the house, you want to do literally, it's pretty much the exact same thing on the upper part of the house. So, for instance, if we come to the upper part of the house, we want to copy the windows that we have down below. So we'll start by going right of this birchwood plank here, and we'll do 5 upside down birchwood stairs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll do the 2 birchwood plank, 1, 2. Then we want to do a glass block, gap of 1, glass block, 2 birchwood planks, 5 upside down birchwood stairs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. We want to raise up the birchwood planks until they hit the top of the house, as you might guess. We then want to raise up the glass blocks by 1 each, place a row of quartz stairs on top, then place birchwood planks on top of the stairs. We then want to place regular facing birchwood stairs just at the top of the windows, as you can see here. We want to place block of quartz on the left and right inside of the window, just as we did down below as well. We want to fill the center of the windows in using glass pane. We want to add shutters to them. like this. We just want to add shutters to them like so. And we want to place quartz slab underneath and above the windows like so. So that is the left hand side. And if we come to the right hand side, we want to do the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, the back windows of the house will also be done in the same way. And the right hand side of the house will also be done in a similar way as well. Except we will discard a little bit of the detail on the right hand side of the house. Or literally the right hand side, not the side that we've just done. But that is what we want to have so far for the front of the house. So that is a lot of detail added to the front of the house, but that isn't all of the detail. As you might know, there is a porch on the front of the house. That's what we're going to build next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 3 bottom blocks of the entrance, so where the glass to the glass goes, these 3 blocks of quartz, we're going to extend these forwards by 1 row using your quartz. So we'll extend these forwards. And we want to extend the blocks left and right of those 3 forwards as well. So we have a row of 5 like that. You want to extend out every single block here associated with these 5 blocks. So if we move upwards, we want to raise out each one of the birchwood blocks and each one of the quartz blocks. So if you extend every single one of these blocks outwards, like this, including the glass and the stairs, then that's exactly what you want to do. We want to extend these coming out of the house by an additional row. That's every single one of these 5 rows, essentially. So we want to have something which should look like that. We then want to take the bottom blocks, the 5 block of quartz at the bottom, and we want to take the left hand block and the right hand block and extend them forwards each by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. We want to place birchwood planks on top of each one of the second blocks. We want to go up by 4 with the birchwood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a block of quartz on top of each one of those. Extend them to connect them together. Fill in the row behind this row of block of quartz using block of quartz to create a platform. Take each one of these blocks of quartz that you have just extended upwards on top of the birchwood planks and do rows of 5 birchwood coming up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. We can then connect those 5 blocks together and place a row of 3 birchwood planks on top of the 3 middle blocks created, and extend the center one upwards by 1. So you want to create this sort of shape. Place a quartz stairs on the outer part of the triangular shape that you've made. You want to place a quartz stairs on the outer part. And you want to extend those quartz stairs backwards. So you want to extend them backwards so that they connect to the house. And the stairs can actually fan outwards to the left-hand side of the house, and it wants to overhang the left-hand side of the house by 1 block. And it's the same with the right. It can fan out to the right-hand side of the house and extend it over by 1 block. We also want to have it so that we have a row of stairs that runs across the side of the triangular shape, once again created at the top middle part of the house. So we want to have quartz stairs running across the sides of this, and the quartz stair also want to overhang the front of the house by 1 row, similarly to this. We want to also place upside down quartz stairs underneath every single overhanging quartz stair block, and we want to have an upside down quartz stair at the top. Right at the very top, however, we want to have a quartz slab, which will extend backwards towards the center of the house. So that is a lot of that area complete. However, we can now begin the roof a little bit, because the roof of the house, as you might imagine, sits on the outside of the triangular shape that we have on the left-hand side of the house and the right-hand side of the house. The roof also overhangs the side of the house by 1 row, as you might also know, like this. We also want to, of course, place upside-down quartz stairs underneath the overhanging part of the roof. And the way that the roof connects to the center part of the house is like this. So it connects to the center part of the roof that we've made, the little bit of the roof, it connects like this. And when you get higher than that particular part of the house, so that's what I'm kind of doing, like, once you get higher than the little middle part of the roof that we've created, where we're placing the row of stone, the row of quartz slabs, that is when you stop feeding into the center part of the roof, and that's when you simply just, like, place a row of quartz slab, if that makes sense. So you can see, when you actually get higher than the little middle part of the roof, then you can just continue placing rows of quartz stairs across the roof rather than coming towards the center and then connecting things together. And of course, both sides of the roof are also overhanging the side of the roof by one row, and we want to have upside down quartz stairs placed underneath the overhanging part. That is enough of the roof, because we won't be doing that on recording. I'll finish the roof off a little bit later, but I thought there was a perfect opportunity to add it in here. Speaking of the rest of the house, so where we have the middle part of the house that juts out a little bit, we actually want to take the upper part here and we want to place upside down quartz stairs inside of this birchwood archway, and we want to connect the upside down stairs together using quartz slab. We want to place white stained glass pane going around on top of the outer quartz blocks that will create a nice little balcony. If we come down below, we also want to place some white stained glass pane left and right here, and we want to place stone brick slabs and stone brick stairs, creating a gradual, like a nice gradual slope coming out from the center of the house. So it just makes it look a little bit tidier, a little bit nicer. It's pretty much all it is. And that's the front of the house, pretty much done. We'll take care of the garden and stuff later on. Now that we've done the front of the house, however, we are going to move to the back of the house. So let's come to the back of the house now. The back of the house is actually literally just about the same as the front of the house. So we're going to do a lot of what we've done on the front. Come to the back of the house and start on the bottom left-hand side. So going right of this birchwood plank block, we want to place 5 upside down birchwood stairs going right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place 2 birchwood planks going right of that. 1, 2. Then place a glass block, gap of 1 glass block. Place 2 birchwood planks. 1, 2. 5 upside down birchwood stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like so. Raise up the birchwood planks until they hit the midpoint of the house. Same as we did on the front. Place on top the glass blocks an additional glass block. Place quartz stairs on top of that, connect them together. And place a row of birchwood planks on top of the entrance. Then place a row of regular birchwood stairs facing downwards in line with the top of the windows. Then connect the windows left and right downwards using a block of quartz. So we want to connect the windows downwards using a block of quartz like this. Fill in the windows using white stained glass pane. So fill in the windows using white stained glass pane like this. Add wooden trapdoors in front of each one of the quartz blocks, with quartz slabs underneath and above the windows, exactly how we did on the front. Come to the left-hand window and do the same. So we want to have quartz slabs coming outwards from the lower half of the window and quartz slabs coming outwards from the lower half of the upper window. You guys know how to place these by now. Also, add wooden trapdoors to the windows. So that is the lower half of the house. Let's talk about the upper half of the house. The upper half of the house is almost the same as the lower half of the house. I'll show you the difference. So we want to start off going right of this birchwood plank block. We want to do 5 upside down birchwood stairs. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. There we go. Then do 2 birchwood planks going right. Then 3 upside down birchwood stairs. 1, 2, 3. 2 birchwood planks. 5 upside down birchwood stairs. Raise up the birchwood planks as you would normally, like this. Then we want to add a row of birchwood stairs to the top of each one of the 3 windows, like this. Then place a block of quartz in the left-hand side of the window and the right-hand side of the window. However, you only do that with the right-hand side of the house and the left-hand side of the house. The centre part of the house you leave alone. Then place white stained glass pane in all of the other spaces. So place the white stained glass pane, of course, in the centre window and the left-hand side and right-hand side window. Then it's pretty much everything as normal. We place the quartz slab, the lower half of the window and the upper half of the window, and wherever you have the quartz block next to the windows, you want to, of course, place some wooden trap doors in front of the quartz. So here on the left hand side and here on the right hand side also. So we want to place that there, there and there. So we want to have something which should look like this. Now, what we now want to do is add a porch to the back of the house. So we want to grab our block of quartz and we want to take the bottom left-hand corner of the back of the house and we want to extend it outwards by 3 with the block of quartz. That's 1, 2, 3. We want to extend that block all the way to the right back corner of the house. We want to connect it to the back of the house. We want to fill this in using block of quartz. So completely fill this in using block of quartz like this. Place a block of quartz on top of each one of the corners of the porch like so. And then we want to take out our birchwood fence and we want to place, I do believe it is 3 fence on top of each quartz. So that's 1, 2 and 3, and we want to take the other one, 1, 2 and 3. Place some birchwood fence on the back part of the porch, connecting the 2 blocks of quartz together, and on the left-hand side. The right-hand side isn't as important because this is like where we'll be walking down from anyway, so you'll be able to walk down from here. Less so next to the windowsill, but you will be able to do it on the right-hand side. You can even place a block of quartz there if you like, or perhaps even a fence is less intrusive. Anyway, you then want to place, coming outwards from the center of the house where you have the horizontal row of quartz, you want to place a row of quartz stairs coming outwards from the house. And then you want to place 2 rows of quartz slab coming outwards from that. So place 2 rows of quartz slab coming outwards from that, like this. Perfect. That's pretty much the back of the house. Let's move on to the right-hand side of the house. So the right-hand side of the house and the left-hand side of the house are different, by the way. So what works for one side doesn't work for the other side. So you're on the right-hand side of the house, and once again, we're going to start from the bottom birchwood plank block. And we want to place, going right at this block, we want to place 5 upside-down birchwood stairs. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then place a row of 3 birchwood plank, 1, 2, 3. Then 5 upside down birchwood stairs, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to raise up every single plank upwards, like this. Then place a row of birchwood stairs at the top of the windows. Connect the windows left and right downwards using block of quartz. Fill in the windows using, whoops, why am I placing that there? That is a bad idea. Fill in the windows using your glass, as you might expect. And once you've filled in your windows with glass, add the wooden trap doors. Now, I did mention this earlier in the tutorial, as you guys might remember, although it is a little bit, cobbled together with other stuff that I was talking about. I did mention that on the right-hand side of the house, I actually made it so the windows were slightly different. The only difference between these windows and the other windows is I haven't added the quartz slab because I wanted a flatter effect on this side of the house. Change that if you want, add it if you want, but I'm not going to. And the upper part of the house is actually identical to the lower part of the house. So if you just copy the lower part of the house onto the upper part of the house, if you just copy the same windows in the same position except elevated, then, well, you can't go wrong, basically. So we've done these windows enough. I'm sure you guys understand the concept of just copying the lower part onto this part. I'll leave you to that. I'm doing the same thing, exactly what I've just done. I'm just filling the windows in now, and then I'll be adding the wooden trapdoors. It's the same thing that we have down below. And once again, if you like, you can add the quartz slab to the lower and upper part of the windows. That I will completely leave up to you. But I like how they look like this, and I think that it's nice to sometimes change up the house a little bit. It's up to you. Do what you want. So once you've got that sorted out, you want to move to the back right-hand corner of the house. So if you come all the way to the back of the house and come down to the bottom right-hand corner of the house, which is this block. I mean, you guys can see what I'm talking about. This block, right? Yeah? Well, go right of this block by, you want to go right by 7 with your birchwood plank. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take that 7th block and extend it forwards by 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Extend that 11th block up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a block of quartz on top of that. You then want to extend the block of quartz backwards, following the line of birchwood plank that you have down below. So you actually want to follow the line of birchwood plank that you have down below. You also want to connect that same block of quartz at the front to the right-hand side of the house, like this. Perfect. Then, what we want to do is we want to connect the block of quartz that connects to the house. We want to connect this downwards using birchwood plank. So this is at the front of the garage. This is what this is. We want to connect that birchwood plank down, or we want to connect that block of quartz downwards using birchwood planks. Inside of this squarish space, we want to place rows of quartz stairs just inside of this empty space that form what looks like, what at the very least looks like it looks like a garage door. We also want to connect the birchwood planks underneath the row of quartz. We want to connect those together, and there you will have a pretty decent looking garage door. The rest of the garage has to be made, however, and the way that we're going to do that is we're going to take the block of quartz at the top front of the garage, and we'll place quartz stairs in front of them. And then we'll place another row of block of quartz in front of, on top of the row of quartz stairs. And if we come to the back, we want to take the back of the garage and we want to place a row of quartz stairs coming out the back of the garage and on top like this. And we want to connect the left-hand side of the top of the garage together. We want to connect it front to back. And we want to connect the right-hand side of the garage together, front to back like this. Then we want to place a rectangular shape of quartz slab going all the way around the top of the garage. So we want to place a row of quartz slab all the way around the top outside of the garage like this, like that. And we can then place a white stained glass block just popping out of the top of the garage, and that will create a lot of light in the garage. So you won't have to light that up if you don't want, because you'll have a lot of natural light coming in. And there you go, guys. That is the garage, and that's a lot of the house done, because what is pretty much left to do here, other than the garden, is we just have to fill in the house. So we have to fill in all remaining empty walls of the house, like this one, with birchwood planks. We have to do the same with the garage. We have to fill it in with birchwood planks, the sides of it. We have to then fill in, also underneath the roof once again, with birchwood planks. But then we just have to fill the roof in with quartz stairs, and you guys know how this is going to go. We've already started it on the front of the house. It's the same sort of deal as you have on the front, except we're just doing it on the back. It's as simple as that. So you just want to, once again, just run your rows of quartz stairs coming across the side of your triangular shape, like this. And then you also want to place your upside down quartz stairs underneath the overhanging row. And you want to place a row of quartz slabs coming across the top of the roof. That's pretty much all you have to know. There isn't a great deal. So basically, I'm going to go away, I'm going to do the roof, and I'm going to fill the rest of the house in with the birchwood planks. And once I've done that, I'll be back in a moment. So as you might be able to see, we have now filled in the roof and the rest of the house using birchwood planks and all of our quartz blocks. Of course, I don't expect you guys to immediately be done with that, so if you like, you can pause the video, do all of that, fill in the house with your birchwood and your quartz and all that stuff, and then hit play, and you can continue on with the rest of us. You can sync up with the rest of us. So the next thing we're going to work on, once that's all complete, is the outside of the house. Of course it is. So the house is done. The actual house is done. But there are a couple of things that we can add to the house which will absolutely improve the look of the house. So the first thing that we're going to need is, I think we'll once again grab our quartz block. We'll need all of the stone brick stuff. We'll need the cobblestone. We'll need all of the, we'll need the leaves. We'll need the flowers, lime hardened clay, the green hardened clay, and we can get to work. So first of all, the thing that springs to mind is I want to do the garage. So the garage, we're going to have 2 rows of cobblestone slab coming forwards from the left-hand side of the garage and the right-hand side of the garage. I know where it's coming to because I have the big green outline. If you didn't bother with that, then just extend it forwards until you're happy. Fill in the center of the area using stone slab. I'm not going to be doing this all on recording, but I'm laying down the foundation of what's going to happen. So we can extend the rows of cobblestone slab out, and then we can fill the center of it in using stone slab. We want to do a similar-ish thing to the entrance. So I'm going to place a block of quartz left and right of the entrance, and I want to create a pathway extending the stone slabs or the stone bricks outwards like this, and I kind of want to create a pathway which will lead to the center of the house. I'm going to extend the quartz blocks outwards using oak leaves, so we now have a very clear walkway. Something that I don't have is flower pots, which I wish I did have, because I want to place some flower pots on top of the extended quartz blocks, and I want to of course place poppies or whatever your favorite flower is in them. A lot of you might know, if this isn't your first build, poppies are my favorite. So in front of the windows, I want to create a nice arching effect using the cobblestone slab, and it looks like this. If we start from the bottom left hand corner of the house, if we place a slab in front of it, then 2 coming outwards diagonally, right by 2, then extend them forwards to the house diagonally. Then if you place a row of 3 oak leaves at the back center of this space and place poppies on the outer part of the leaves, then you get a really cool effect. And you can do that on the opposite side as well. So you can place your diagonals coming outwards like this, and then you can create a nice flower bed slash oak leaf bed, whatever you want, a nice flower bed coming out from the center of the house. And instead of having bay windows, you don't have to have the same, you can create a nice shaped effect using the flower beds rather than having it structurally embedded in the house, if that makes sense. And that's a lot of the detail, pretty much. The next thing that we're going to do, once all of that's complete, is I just want to lay down some artificial grass. So basically, artificial grass is very simple. I just want to lay down rows of reoccurring lime hardened clay, green hardened clay, lime hardened clay, green hardened clay. I want to start from the very front of the house where we already conveniently have a row of green hardened clay, and then I want to place lime hardened clay behind it, green hardened clay behind that, lime hardened clay, basically a stripy pattern of green clays. And I just want to create artificial grass because it looks very nice. It's very clean with the suburban house style. So I'm going to do that, and I also want this to extend to the back of the house where we already have the green hardened clay anyway, and this is going to happen at the back of the house. I'm just going to place a little bit of grass, and I'm going to stay within the parameters that I've already set out here. So I'm just going to have the grass in these positions, and if I want to, I can also even create a nice little garden-ish area on the back. I can create a nice sort of crescent shape here, or maybe it wouldn't even come that far. Maybe it would come about here. We could round it off a little bit. We can have grass surrounding it like this. We could even have a little bit of oak leaves, and I don't like the oak leaves. Maybe oak leaves here like this, and maybe even some flowers surrounding that, and then we could have a little bit of paving here, so a little bit of stone slabbage. I'm kind of just riffing here. Something like that would actually look quite nice, and you could even use a birchwood fence here, and maybe even here as well. And yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, yeah, that looks pretty decent. And then of course you can just finish the rest of the artificial grass on the back of the house. You can just finish this. You can add all of your green hardened clay. I think I've actually just about finished the entire house, like the entire outside the house now. I've inadvertently done it on recording whilst I was going to leave some of it. But yeah, the back of the house can look like that. There doesn't have to be too much going on. And if we come to the front of the house, then we can do a very similar thing here. I might as well finish it on recording whilst I'm here, because this isn't going to take very long whatsoever. I just have to dig out the drive and place stone slabs inside of it, and I have to dig out the front right hand side of the house around the flower beds, and I just have to place artificial grass inside them, and then it'll be pretty much done. If you want to actually use the house, then the inside of the house is kind of up for grabs. You guys can do whatever you want there. I'm not going to tell you what to do there. Yeah, that's the driveway done. That looks lovely. So I'm not going to give you instructions on what to do to the inside, unless I design a specific interior for it. Then I'm not going to include it in this video. I might. I used to with suburban houses. I used to like furnishing them a little bit. We'll have to see whether I create that video or not. But yeah, that's like the outside of the house. Obviously, it'd look nicer from the outside if it was a bit brighter. But you could just achieve the same effect using like potions and night vision. Then you get a very, very nice bright version of the house. But yeah, guys, that's suburban house number whatever. Very nice, realistic, beautiful suburban house. One of my favorite suburban houses that I've created in quite some time. So simple yet so elegant. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do remember to smack that like button. I'd really, really appreciate that. I honestly would. If you like the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you subscribe, click the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all of my videos sent directly to your sub box. Also, comment down below and let me know what you want to see next. What would you like to see? Would you like to see more suburban houses like this, or maybe even kind of like different styles of suburban houses? Like this is another style of a suburban house that I've made. Would you like to see more modern houses? As you can see, that thing over there is actually a house. That's actually really cool, that cylinder house. But we have all sorts of examples of all sorts of stuff around here. So comment down below. We make everything. Don't be shy down there. And please do check out the rest of the channel. We do everything. Literally, there's no sort of build that we don't do. We do all cartoon houses. That's a Simpsons house. I hope you recognize it. That's a Family Guy house. That's the American Dad house. Johnny Test. And there will be many more to come. We have a Power Rangers head house. We have a Nintendo Switch house. This is an awesome survival safe house that I've made recently. All sorts of stuff. Comment down below. Check out the card system. Check out the description below. Those are the places you want to go if you do want to check out more of my content. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much.